We've all been there. You're facing a tough choice, and the line between what's right and what's wrong just feels impossibly blurry. But what if I told you there's a simple roadmap for those moments? Today, we're going to unpack a framework that can take you from that dilemma to a solid decision with confidence.
Right? It's that knot you get in your stomach, that feeling of being totally stuck in a gray area, and you know your choice is going to have real consequences. So seriously, what do you do when the path forward just isn't obvious at all?
Well, the answer might just be found in this, a surprisingly simple and elegant flowchart. This is a tool that's designed to guide you out of that uncertainty and toward a clear, defensible decision just one step at a time. So let's walk through it together.
Okay, so think of this as your 5-question journey. It's a really structured process that takes a super complex ethical problem and breaks it down into a series of simple yes or no questions. It's all about guiding you from confusion to a choice you can really stand behind. So here's the roadmap. See the flow? We start with the really concrete, foundational stuff, the hard rules. Then we start to broaden our view to think about things like public perception and what would happen if everyone did it. It's kind of like a journey from the totally objective to the more subjective. And if an action can pass every single one of these checks, you've arrived at your decision.
So let's start at the beginning with those foundational checks. You got to think of these first few questions as the absolute non-negotiables. They're the bedrock of any ethical choice. If you can't get past these, well, the process stops right here, right now.
And here it is, the first and most fundamental hurdle. Is the action legal? This is the absolute bottom line. It's a bright red line and there is no gray area here.
And if the answer is no, the flowchart gives you a very direct command. Stop. That's it. End of discussion.
All right, so let's say the action is legal. The next check brings things a little closer to home. Does it actually comply with company policy? This adds a really crucial layer.
Because, while the law is the bare minimum standard, your company's code, that's a shared agreement. And violating that isn't just breaking a rule, it's actually breaking trust with your entire team.
Now, the third foundational check forces us to look at the real-world consequences. Is this going to cause loss or harm to the company? This one is all about responsibility.
Yeah, it's a powerful reminder that our decisions don't exist in a vacuum. A truly ethical choice has to protect the very people and organization we have a duty to serve. All right, so if you've answered yes to those first 3, you're on pretty solid ground. But now, the roadmap takes it up a level. These next 2 questions are going to ask you to imagine your private decision being put on full public display.
Next up is a classic ethical test. Would it be okay if everyone did it? This is such a powerful question because it forces us to scale up our action and think way beyond just ourselves.
This is what's called the universality test. It basically stops us from making a special exception for ourselves. If the world would be a worse place if everybody acted this way, that's a huge, clear sign that the action is probably flawed.
And now we come to the final and maybe the most personal test of all. Would you be comfortable seeing your decision plastered on the front page of a newspaper? This is the ultimate gut check.
Seriously, this test bypasses all the intellectual arguments and goes straight to your core sense of integrity. If you kind of squirm at the thought of total transparency, well, that feeling is telling you something really, really important.
And there you have it. If you can navigate that entire gauntlet and answer yes 5 times in a row, you've reached the end of the road. And you haven't just made a decision, you've made an ethically sound and totally defensible choice. But what about when you can't say yes? One of the most brilliant parts of this whole model is its built-in safety features. The wait and stop commands, they aren't failures. They are essential tools to prevent you from making a really bad decision. The key is to really get the difference. Stop means the path is blocked, full stop, and for a very good reason. But wait isn't a no, it's a pause. It's a signal that says, hey, I don't have enough information yet, and it's time to get some help.
In this flowchart does not mince words. The stop command is literally a warning sign. It's telling you that if you proceed, there could be severe consequences, not just for the company, but for you personally. It's the roadmap's way of shouting, danger ahead.
So if you land on wait, you are not alone. The roadmap explicitly tells you exactly what to do next. Don't guess, pause, bring in the experts. Talk to your manager, call up legal, or speak with HR. Uncertainty is a signal to collaborate, not to gamble.
So let's just recap this whole toolkit, from legality and policy to preventing harm, all the way to passing the universal and public eye test. These 5 questions are your powerful, portable guide. Seriously, keep them in your back pocket, because the next time you face a tough call, they are your direct path from confusion to clarity.
So I'll just leave you with this one final thought. Think about a really tough choice you've made in the past. If you had run it through this 5-question roadmap, would the outcome have been the same? Looking back now, what do you see differently?